to DrugTalk, the remedy that brings you closer to the science of drugs and the stories that hold their secrets.
Hey everyone, dive in with us today as we take a deep dive into something really exciting, AI and how it could totally change the game for discovering new drugs, especially for those powerful protein-based ones. We've got 3 awesome research articles here, and I know you're prepping for a big presentation on this, so by the end of this, you'll be loaded with insights.
It's definitely a hot topic, lots of buzz, but also a good bit of healthy skepticism, which is always a good thing.
For sure. Okay, so let's unpack this. We all know protein drugs are a big deal, right? They can target some really specific diseases.
But they are really hard to develop and super expensive.
Right. And I bet each failed trial means companies are losing tons of money.
Try hundreds of millions, sometimes even more. And we can't forget about the patients who are waiting for these new treatments.
Absolutely. So why is it so difficult? What makes protein drugs such a gamble?
It's really all about how complex proteins are. Think of them like a giant, intricate machine with thousands of moving parts, and they all have to be in a really delicate balance. Now try to picture how that machine will act inside the human body, which also has its own complex machinery.
Okay, I'm already overwhelmed just thinking about it.
That's a lot.
So that's where AI can maybe step in. It could be the supercomputer that finally cracks the code.
Exactly. AI could revolutionize how we design and test potential drugs, especially these protein-based ones.
So instead of spending years in the lab mixing and matching molecules, we can use algorithms to run virtual experiments.
You got it. AI can look at mountains of data, looking for those patterns and connections that would take humans years to find. It can even help us understand how a protein's shape affects its function, which is really important.
Wait, the 3D structure. Okay, now you're just showing off. But seriously, why is the shape of a protein so important?
Okay, think of a key and a lock. The shape of the key has to be just right, or it won't unlock the door. Proteins are similar. Their shapes determine how they interact with other molecules in our bodies. And this interaction sets off a chain reaction, and if everything goes right, we see a specific effect, like stopping a disease.
Makes sense. So if a protein's shape is wrong, it's like trying to unlock your front door with, like, your car key. It's not going to work.
Precisely. And what's really cool is that AI can actually help us design proteins with specific shapes to target specific diseases. It's like having a master key maker for the human body.
That's incredible. But even with AI, all of this relies on having enough data to work with, right? Like, you can't bake a cake without the ingredients.
You're absolutely right. And that's where it gets tricky. The pharmaceutical industry is very protective of its data.
Which makes sense. I mean, their research is basically gold to them.
Exactly.
So we have this amazing tool in AI, but it's like having a Ferrari with no gas in the tank.
Yeah, kind of. And that's why people are getting really excited about something called federated learning.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. What is that?
So imagine each pharmaceutical company has a puzzle piece, but it's a really important puzzle piece they definitely don't want to share with their competitors. But with federated learning, they can train a shared AI model using their own data without actually giving that data away.
So they're all working together to create this huge, detailed picture of how proteins work, but they're each using their own secret stash of information.
Exactly. It's like a team effort, but without revealing the secret formula. The AI model learns from all the data, so it gets smarter over time, but no single company has to give away its secrets.
That is so clever. Okay, so let's say we've got this awesome federated learning system in place. What kind of data are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about all those little details of drug development, like pharmacological data, stability tests, clinical trial results. Basically anything that can help us understand how a drug will actually behave in people, and most importantly, how safe it will be.
So this could help speed up development of drugs for diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, even just a common cold, you know? Imagine a world with fewer side effects from medications, more personalized treatments, even cures for diseases we thought were incurable.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the diseases we're already familiar with. AI can even help us tackle those rare diseases that often get overlooked.
Wow. But we've only really talked about protein drugs. Your research also mentioned AI analyzing natural compounds, which sounds pretty wild.
Well, we'll get there. It's important to understand that protein-based drugs are just one piece of the puzzle. There's a whole other world of possibilities in what we call natural products.
You're talking about like nature's medicine cabinet. Plants, bacteria, fungi, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Natural products have actually been the source of incredible medicines for centuries. Think about aspirin, which comes from willow bark, or penicillin, which comes from mold. We even have powerful anti-cancer drugs that come from plants.
Okay, so nature definitely has some secrets up its sleeve. Where does AI come into this? Is it like a treasure map leading us to new drugs?
It's even better than that. AI can analyze the chemical makeup of thousands, even millions, of these natural compounds, looking for patterns and properties that we might miss. And get this, it can even predict how these compounds might interact with our bodies on a molecular level.
It's like having a team of expert detectives, but instead of looking for fingerprints, they're analyzing molecules. This is seriously cool.
It is, and it's already happening. For the longest time, trying to find new antibiotics was like searching for a needle in a haystack. But recently, researchers used AI to identify a brand new antibiotic. It's called Halicin.
Wait, Halicin? Like the computer from 2001, A Space Odyssey. That has to be intentional.
Let's go with coincidence. But you know what's really incredible about Halicin? It actually works completely differently than any other antibiotic we've ever seen.
Now that is what I call a game changer. So AI didn't just find another antibiotic. It found a completely new weapon to fight superbugs. That's huge.
It really is. It's a perfect example of how AI could be the key to overcoming antibiotic resistance, which is one of the biggest threats to global health right now. And there's more. Remember Abracin?
Give me a second. My brain's still trying to catch up with Halicin. Abocin. That does sound kind of familiar.
It should. It was hiding in a database with over 10 million molecules. Scientists had been studying this database for years, but AI was able to see the patterns that we missed, revealing Abocin's potential as a powerful new antibiotic.
Hold on, so you're saying this potential game changer for fighting drug-resistant bacteria was just sitting in a database, totally overlooked until AI came along. That's incredible and also kind of terrifying.
It really highlights the potential of AI and how limited our current approaches are. Just imagine how many other breakthroughs are out there, just waiting for the right tools to unlock them.
Okay, my mind is blown. This is like straight out of science fiction. But as amazing as this all sounds, there must be challenges, right?
Of course. While AI could revolutionize natural product drug discovery, it does face one major hurdle.
Let me guess. Not enough data.
You got it. AI needs information to learn. The more data it has, the better it can make predictions. But the world of natural product research is, well, a little disorganized right now, kind of like a teenager's bedroom, with information scattered everywhere.
Okay, I can definitely relate to that. So how do we organize this metaphorical mess? How do we give AI what it needs?
That is the million-dollar question.
Oh.
Part of the problem is that a lot of this valuable information is locked away in scientific papers. And a lot of times the reporting is different, or the formats aren't standardized. It's like trying to bake a cake with a recipe that's written in a completely different language.
So we need like a universal translator for all of this scientific data. That sounds like a job for AI.
You might be onto something. The good news is that researchers are working on solutions. They're developing new tools and techniques to pull out the data from these papers, create better databases, and standardize reporting methods.
That's fantastic. So there's hope yet. But even still, this seems like a massive undertaking. We're talking about organizing potentially millions of research papers going back decades.
It is a lot, but it's also an amazing opportunity. Imagine a future where all that knowledge, all that data is organized and easy to search. AI could connect the dots between different studies, potentially revealing breakthroughs we could have never imagined.
Okay, I'm back on the AI hype train.
Yeah.
But really, this all depends on figuring out the data situation, right? Otherwise, it's like having all these brilliant AI chefs and no ingredients to work with.
That is a great way to put it. But you know what? I'm optimistic. I think we're on the edge of a new era in drug discovery, one where AI helps us unlock even more secrets.
I'm with you on that. This is an exciting field to be following, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me too. And to everyone listening who's also fascinated by this is only the beginning.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground already. AI helping with protein drugs, and then all that cool stuff about natural compounds. But what are you most excited about with all these potential breakthroughs? What really gets you excited about the future of all this?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's like picking a favorite candy in a candy store. But if I had to pick, I think it's how AI could make drug discovery accessible to way more people.
Democratize it. That's interesting. What do you mean by that?
Well, right now, developing new drugs is crazy expensive and takes forever. It's mostly just these big companies with tons of money that can even play the game. But AI has the potential to change that.
So you're saying smaller teams, maybe even universities, could have a shot at discovering new drugs. That really would be huge.
For sure. Imagine if really smart scientists all over the world, with a good idea and the right AI tools, could work on new cures and treatments, like a global research team.
I love that. And I bet that would lead to so many more approaches to the research, No more research silos, just people coming together to solve these huge health problems.
Exactly. And here's another really exciting thought. AI might be able to help us move away from a one-size-fits-all approach to medicine.
Personalized medicine. Now you're talking my language. Tell me more.
Picture this. You go to the doctor, and instead of just a normal blood test, they take a sample of your cells and use AI to analyze it.
Okay, now that does sound pretty futuristic. What are they analyzing?
Everything. Your genes, your proteins, even your gut microbiome. Basically everything that makes you you. And using that information, the AI could predict the best drugs and treatments specifically for you, with fewer side effects.
So it's like your own personal medical advisor. That's wild. Healthcare could be so much more effective if we could move away from trial and error and towards this kind of tailored approach.
It's a whole new way of thinking about medicine, and it's not even that far off. AI is already being used for things like personalized cancer treatments, matching the treatment to the patient's specific tumor.
That's amazing. It sounds like we're on the edge of this revolution in healthcare with AI leading the charge. But I also wonder, with all this talk about these amazing algorithms and personalized medicine, where do doctors fit in?
The million-dollar question. It's something we definitely need to think about carefully.
Should we be worried about AI, like, replacing doctors entirely?
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of thing that keeps me up at night.
Don't worry about that.
Good.
Yeah, anyway. AI isn't about replacing doctors. It's about giving them better tools to do their jobs.
So more like the ultimate sidekick and not the superhero taking over the show.
Exactly. AI can help doctors analyze huge amounts of data and maybe even see patterns that humans would miss, things like diagnosis and treatment plans. But when it comes down to it, it's still the doctors, with their empathy and experience, who will make the final decisions.
That makes me feel a lot better. Like, yeah, we have this awesome technology, but we haven't lost that human touch, the compassion, all the stuff that's so important in healthcare.
For sure. And we also have to remember all the ethical considerations. As AI gets more advanced, we need to make sure it's being used responsibly. We have to think about patient privacy, potential biases in the algorithms, and making sure everyone has access to these technologies.
You bring up a really important point. Just because we can do something doesn't always mean we should. We have to be careful about the potential consequences, good and bad.
100%. That's why it's important to keep talking about these things, to make sure ethicists, policymakers, and everyone else is involved in how these technologies are developed and used.
It's bigger than just the science. It's about society, too. These advances need to benefit everyone, not just a select few.
Absolutely. And that makes me think about another important aspect, collaboration. If we want AI drug discovery to really take off, researchers, companies, governments, everyone needs to be on board.
So it's not just about, like, building a better AI, it's about building a better system for innovation.
Exactly. Break down those walls, share data responsibly, and encourage people to work together.
Right. We're all on the same team here. The whole point is to improve healthcare, and that takes everyone working together. Thinking about you listening out there, getting ready for your big presentation, what's one big takeaway you can leave your audience with?
It's pretty simple, actually. The future of drug discovery isn't just about bigger labs or fancier equipment. It's about using the power of AI to unlock the secrets of biology, both within us and out in the natural world.
Wow, that is powerful. And it's something everyone can get behind.
It really is a message of hope, of progress, and all the amazing things that can happen when we combine human ingenuity with technology.
Nicely said. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. We've talked about all the cool things AI could do, but imagine you're not just presenting on this, you're actually building this future. If you could create the ultimate AI drug discovery system, what would it be able to do? What problems would it solve?
Wow, what a question. That really gets you thinking, huh?
It does. Would it be able to, like, predict side effects before they even happen? Maybe even design treatments just for you based on your genes.
Or what if it could look at, like, all the plants and animals on Earth and find hidden medicines in the most unexpected places?
Okay, now you're just making me even more excited about this. But really, the possibilities are huge. And who knows, maybe someday this will all be a reality.
I think that day might be closer than we realize.
That's what's so great about science, right? There's always something new to discover. And with AI helping us, well, who knows what amazing things we'll find.
I know. It's amazing to be a part of it all, to see these discoveries happening.
It really is. Well, on that note of excitement and potential, I want to thank you both for joining us for this deep dive into AI and drug discovery. I hope you found it as fascinating as I did.
It's been a pleasure being here.
And remember, this is just the start of the conversation, so keep thinking about these things, keep asking questions, and hey, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big breakthrough. Until next time.
This was Drug Talk, the remedy that brings you closer to the science of drugs and the stories that hold their secrets. Produced and edited by Dr. Nicholas Dietis.